Okay, so we're writing a book. Me and Alan are writing a book. And the reason we're writing a book is because of this book. This is a book called Deadly Deception, 21 Years Undercover Without a Badge. The true story of Paul Bannister is told to somebody. We decided to correct the record. This Paul Bannister guy has Alan tagged as some sort of a underworld kingpin, so we decided to call the book Kingpin. And I was there for a lot of the period of time that Paul goes through in here. His descriptions are wonderful. I mean, they really are. I wish it was like that, but it really wasn't like that. I love this stuff. He called us henchmen. He called me a henchman. I've never henched. I don't know how to hench. I have no idea how to hench. Not that I wouldn't hench if I knew how to hench. Because I hear, I mean, if you can make money doing it, that'd be nice. I'd like to make some money. I'd be a henchman if I could make money being a henchman, but I don't know how to hench. I don't think Alan ever had anybody that knew how to hench. I know he had Mark who cooked for him, and he cleaned up, but that's as close to a henchman as you had up there. And that didn't stop Paul Bannister from just laying it on thick and cheesy. I like this one. Here, I'm going to read this thing here. It's talking about this guy, Rambo. Dave Davies. Rambo. He calls him Rambo. And I'm like, who makes up these names? Rambo. Rambo? Jesus. That's terrible. Anyway, Rambo was all worried about going up to Alan's house, and frankly, everybody came up to Alan's house. Jesus Christ, everybody was up there. And he was worried about going up there. He thought, I don't know what he thought, I don't know. But it says here, his fears were unfounded. After he'd been cleared at the door by another of the mobster's henchmen, Alan met him with open arms. Okay, now I want to know who's clearing people here. Because I never saw anybody clear anybody. And I never saw any security. Anybody could just walk up there, and everybody did. All kinds of people. And people were like, who is that? And we have no idea who that person is. They're just people coming and going. I mean, they were just coming up. As they come up with other people. People say, hey, come on up here. There's a place where everybody, you know. I mean, we'd have musicians from all over the whole of central New York would just stop up there and play. Because, you know what, you could. So why wouldn't you? You know, Alan had a nice setup where he had microphones you plug right into the wall. And big clip speakers and, you know, reverb and well, it was a big thing back then, you know, anything that sounded good. We had drum sets set up, we had bass amps, we had all kinds of stuff up there. I mean, you could hang out, you could have fun. It was a lot of fun up there. And a lot of women came and went all through there. So, I mean, and the party'd go all night. I mean, we'd play all night, you know. But the guys like Bannister, that was suspicious, you know, and because Alan had like 14 businesses. He didn't have to work. He just financed other people that started out things, and he'd collect 50% of a business venture. I mean, that's a job, you know, venture capitalist. Yeah, it's small time, but it's, you know, what the hell? He didn't have that much money. He could only do small time. So Bannister saw us as henchmen, but, you know, it's really weird when he thinks about security. There was no security up there. The only security I ever saw up there was a goose. There was a goose. that was security for about 3 months. In the fall of 1984, that was a Goose. And Alan didn't even want the Goose. Didn't even want it. Didn't ask for it. But that was the fall when everybody was bringing up stuff. They're bringing up bushels of corn because they all wanted to outdo each other as to who had the best corn. Who could find the best corn? Well, it was in one of those little adventures that Iggy, this Iggy, came up with corn and a couple of ducks and a goose. And I didn't see him come up with it. I just remember showing up with Iggy's brother Chester later in the day and trying to get out of the car, and the goose chasing us back into the car. And we're like, where the hell did this goose come from? Well, we made it into the house eventually. We had to do diversionary tactics because that goose was not going to let us in there. I don't know if you know anything about geese, but they just get protective, and you cannot. They will protect, even if they don't even know where the hell they are, they're going to protect what it is that they've worked up in their minds as being their territory. And this goose had Alan's front door as his territory, that whole driveway. So we finally get in, and we go upstairs and go, what the fuck is with that goose out there? And Alan goes, did you see the ducks? And I said, no, I didn't see the ducks. I was trying to get by the goose. I said, we got ducks? And he goes, yeah, Iggy brought up some ducks. And I said, how many ducks? And Iggy said 2. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah. I go, why? He goes, you know. And he looks at me straight, and he goes, you know, duck, duck, goose. And I'm like, oh, duck, duck, goose. Oh, I get it. And he laughs. And Alan had no place for the ducks or the goose. And this is up in Gray. This is up in the Adirondacks. So for the rest of the fall, the goose was chasing off everybody, and the ducks were just wandering around, and we used to throw like bread out and different stuff out to him because we knew that Alan wasn't going to, you know, I mean, he didn't ask for the goddamn things. And if he had no place to put them, he didn't have a duck pen or a chicken coop or a garage to put them in, because the garage, I mean, no. The garage was packed with crap from businesses that he had started, and the guys went under, and so he had to put the stuff somewhere. You know, I mean, not everybody that starts a business can handle it, you know what I mean? And so he got stuck with a bunch of stuff. So the ducks and the goose just hung around in the front of the house, in the road, in the driveway, and the yard is like on hills, and it's like, you know, walls. You know, it's not like you can just wander from the driveway into the yard, because the yard is like 10 feet above the driveway. You know, it's one of those houses where the house is there, and then it's like a ranch style, not very big, you know, like 1.5 bedrooms, you know, and then underneath it is a garage, and the garage you just drive right into, so the rest of the house is up a bit, you know, it's like that. So the ducks were like in the way of the cars. The goose was chasing everybody away. Until one day I drove up there, it was in January, and it was cold. It was probably between 25 and 30 below. And I drove up by myself because I had to come up and do some work before practice, which we had in the afternoon. And I see a duck squatting in the middle of the road. You know how ducks sit there when they go to sleep. They just kind of, you know, they hunker down, and it was like on just to the left of the road, and on just to the right of the road is a pile of goo and crap. It's like something got run over by a car, and I figured a duck got run over by a car. So I'm looking around for the goose. I don't see any goose, and that's good. Jesus. It never got used to you. It never got used to you. It wasn't smart enough to realize that it was okay for you to be there. It never got used to you. It always chased you away. It always came at you. But it wasn't there. So I get out of the car, go up into the house, and there's Chester sitting on the sofa, and he said, "So, did you see the ducks?" I said, "Well, I saw one duck." He goes, "Nah, there's 2 ducks." I go, "Oh, Jesus, what happened to the other duck?" He goes, "They both froze to the road." I go, "That other one's frozen to the road out there?" He goes, "Yeah, it's frozen to the road." I go, "Is it dead?" He goes, "Yeah, what the hell do you think?" I said, "Well, what happened to the other duck?" He goes, I tried to lift the duck off the road." He goes, and I started laughing. I go, "Oh my God." "Half the duck come up?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "He's sick." He goes, "I pulled, next thing you know," he goes, "I'm holding on to the top half of the duck. And all this shit's just," I go, "That's terrible." He goes, "Yeah, that's terrible." So we kind of just sat there for a minute. I said, "Where's the goose?" He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "They must have wandered off into the woods." I said, "You know, fuck Iggy for bringing them things up." He goes, "Yeah, Iggy never even thought about it. Just duck, duck, goose." That's as far as he thought. That's the only security we ever had, was that goose. You know, but people did shit like that. You know, they bring 2 ducks and a goose up, and there was no way they were going to survive, and there was no place for Alan to put it. Alan was not going to have them running around the house, shitting all over everything. It just wasn't going to happen. You know, and he had a lot of other stuff going on. I said he probably had about 14 businesses at least at that time. I mean, there was a lot going on. And we weren't going to bother with it because, yeah, maybe it's terrible, but I didn't give a shit, you know? I mean, it was just a goose that was getting in my way. I remember hearing, and Alan told me about this one. I didn't see this, but he told me that for Thanksgiving of that year, because everybody was bringing up stuff. Everybody wanted to be a hero, wanted to bring up things. Gifts, you know, gifts to the Magi. And some guy brings up a turkey. Not a turkey like Butterball turkey, but a live turkey. And Alan wasn't home. Nobody was there. And he had the garage door closed because he had all the stuff that people, when their businesses would die, you know, carpet and tools and whatever, ovens, because they had put a pizza place together in his freaking garage and it didn't work out. And so we got the oven, you know, and you had to, you know, people would come up and steal that stuff. This is the middle of nowhere. So you had to close and lock the garage door. So the guy leashed the turkey to the garage door. Not at the bottom of the garage door, but right at the handle, you know, where you're going to turn it. And then left. It was November. He figured, well, when Alan gets here, he'll see the turkey. You know. Well, what the guy didn't figure on is that Alan had one of those garage door openers that you can key from the car, you know, up to a quarter-mile away. Well, Alan was coming up and he keyed the garage door, because we used to enter to go upstairs by way of the garage door, you know, from the door in the back of the garage. Well, by the time he got there, the turkey had hung itself, snapped its neck, just hanging right there in the middle of the freaking garage. It was criminal. You know, if Bannister wanted to find a crime, that's where he could have found the crime, is those assholes bringing things like that up and just setting it up for horrible things. But other than that, I never saw anything criminal. Unless stupidity's a crime. No, nothing criminal. No need for security. Ugh.